Alrighty, hello internet. This is VamperLords speaking, your host for tonight's podcast that's coming up into the new world, the JoJo Brothers. And with me today is my old friend, that God damn, this is already off to a bad start.
Oh my god!
Oh wow, that was terrible. God, I am stuttering so bad.
No,
sir.
keeping. Fuck you. We're keeping it. Fuck you. We're keeping it.
You know what? I'm gonna have you introduce yourself because I just stuttered so hard there.
Hello, everybody. I'm that common writer guy, and this is the JoJo Bros podcast.
So let's see, this is our first ever episode. So tonight's episode is going to be focused on just introducing ourselves. So I'm gonna let my famous guest here go ahead. Sir, what would you like us to know about you?
You are using famous in the worst way possible.
Yes, I am, and I'm leaving it right there too. I did that on purpose. Get over it.
How dare you? I'm only famous in Vietnam.
Nah. I'm sure you've got other places, you know.
Well, I mean, I forget. So I've got a lot of fans from TikTok that both in Vietnam and from the Philippines, really, like the whole Philippine area. I forget the name exactly. It's escaping me, but I've created a good following over there, and a lot of them really want to meet me, and I'd love to meet them and do collabs. They are such talented editors. I would love to hire one of them, but that's the topic for later. Hello, everybody. I'm that common writer guy. You can find me on both YouTube and TikTok. And yeah, this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, and we both have, really. But, life sucks, work sucks. You have to make money to survive in this economy, so we haven't really had the time to do it or resources until now. And a quick shout out to StreamYard for having the wonderful tools to allow us to do this.
Absolutely. Just found them a couple of days ago. Thought we'd give it a try. So hey, StreamYard, shout out to you guys. Like I already love the studio setup so far, and I would love to continue using it.
It is so detailed. I genuinely love it, and I love the duck too.
So you guys would have to, excuse us. We may not have the best audio quality, and we're definitely have.
I better have better audio quality. I spent over $50 on a brand new mic.
Fair enough. So just kind of an idea of what we're doing. We're kind of going to be one of those podcasts that sit there and kind of give our commentation, ideas on certain subjects and things like that. Just being honest and open about it, from video games, anime, possibly movies. We're just going to kind of see where it goes, So we're just kind of trying to get out there and whatnot. And if things go pretty well and swell, we're going to get, set up deep into it as much as we can.
Absolutely, yes. And video games is a great topic to start with because you and I are both lifelong gamers.
Oh yes, absolutely.
We've been gaming before we knew how to take a shit in a toilet.
I wouldn't go that far. I had to learn the second step for the first one.
No, I was gaming before my diapers came off. Fuck you.
Well, you know what? This would actually make a good topic to start with. How did you get into video games?
So I am convinced it's genetic because everyone on my dad's side of the family loves video games. Everyone on my mom's side of the family also loves video games. My earliest memory of video games is I actually don't know if I was or wasn't out of diapers. I just know I was really fucking little. Right. And I was just sitting in the living room one day. I don't know if I was watching a movie or TV. This was back when VHS tapes were still the common thing. For any of you who may remember a VHS
Oh God, man, don't make me that damn old already. I don't want to go back to remembering
Shut up. Anyone with 1999, anyone 1990 or anyone born from the year 2000 is old enough to drink.
Man, did you know that today there are a lot of people that are finding out about VHR tapes and are basically rebranding them?
Yeah, even though the whole point of DVDs was to move away from them, but now it's literally evolving backwards.
I mean, I kind of like some of the ideas they're coming up with, though, but that's for a later topic.
Yeah, no, I've seen what you're talking about. I do think it's neat. But anyways, I was sitting down in the living room, and my uncle at the time, my mother's father, would that be my uncle? No, what would that be? My
Well,
grandpa,
that would
my lovely Mark. That'd
well,
be
they are to your
Grandpa,
father.
Grandpa Jones. Don't worry about it. That's what I call him. He's Grandpa Jones. At the time, he worked at Nintendo America.
Really?
Yeah, he worked there for I think a decade and a half, if I'm not mistaken. He worked there a little bit before I was born and kept working there. I think he stopped working there sometime after the Wii was made because he used to get like a free console for working there because he was a good employee, and he got copies of games like a whole month before they got released. Like I remember when I visited him in Idaho where he lives, or I actually I don't remember if he still lives there, but anyways, at the time where he lived, he was playing Super Mario Galaxy a whole month and a half before it was released.
Oh, ain't he a lucky son of a bitch?
Tell me about it. But anyways, my back on topic. This is gonna be a common thing. I have severe ADHD, so I get sidetracked so hard.
I have ADHD too, but thankfully it's not that severe.
Mine is severe. It's gotten worse after I've hung out with Marines for so long.
Not
We
the
can
crayon eaters.
We can talk about that later. But anyways, my earliest memory of video games is I was sitting down in the living room, and then both my mother and Grandpa Jones, I exaggerate every time I tell this story. I tell people they kicked in the door, picked me up, sat me in front of the original Nintendo, and said enjoy. But
you will play and enjoy.
but yes, they hooked up the original Nintendo, like old school cartridge system to the TV and plugged in the first Super Mario and just handed me the controller. And that was Monday. I wasn't even in school yet. Like I didn't even know what school was. I was very tiny. And I beat the game by Friday.
Hey, but that was a good game though.
I was in the earliest stages of being a toddler, and I beat the original Super Mario, all 8 worlds. Something grown ass men nowadays struggle to do.
Sadly, I can't say that I've ever completed it. I just remember playing it and enjoying it.
I remember being bored. Like I went to my mom and grandpa, like, I can I have new game? I beat this one, and they didn't believe me, so they plugged it in, checked it out, and they're like, "Holy shit, he just beat Mario! I haven't even done that."
Man,
now is this an origin story of how I would become one of the greatest competitive gamers of all time? Fuck no, it's not. Fuck no, it's not. It's the origin of my absolute undying love for video games.
Hey, that is completely understandable.
Look, competitive gaming is so fucking toxic. I would never want to succeed in it.
Man, you ain't joking. I mean, it's bad. It's terrible.
And that can also be a topic for a later story. Anyway, what's your earliest memory?
Let's see. My earliest memory, it was the Nintendo. All right, that the big old blocky GameCube. For those that don't know, it's like this like small rectangular shape. And it's
how dare you insult the king of the consoles?
I'm not insulting it. I'm just describing it to people because can you believe how many people don't know what it looks like?
Exaggerating. My GameCube is sitting right there behind my TV, and it's calling my name as you're talking about it.
Wow. So my earliest gaming memory was this army game. It was like, you know, green people versus red people, yada yada yada. Now
wait. Was it oh no, we're talking about army soldiers, like the game where it's literally like if the little old school plastic army guys came to life?
Sort of, but I don't think they were plastic. I can't remember. If I can remember the name of it, I will happily send it to you like later on. But
I'll send you pictures later because there were these great, fantastic games on the GameCube that were called like Army Men, and then they had like a subtitle like Army Men Sarge's War, Army Men Aerial Assault, and where literally they were very creative games where you know the old school plastic army dudes like the greens and the tans.
Yeah, I used to have a collection of those. Yeah,
literally that's what the game was about. If they were alive and fighting an actual war, where it was the greens against the tans.
See, okay, so I don't think it was necessarily that game then, because the one I'm thinking of that I'm trying to remember the name of, they were like these potato people, pretty much, because they were so round. No, they were so round, and they had no faces.
It was just like your standard like army game.
Pretty much, yeah. But see, my thing was with it is that I didn't have any like cartridges or anything to like do save data on
Oh my
for the
god,
Nintendo.
don't remind me. I didn't have a memory card for over a year and a half when I
So
first
you
got
could
my GameCube.
so you can imagine the struggle of me trying to beat this game, having to
Imagine
leave
the
the system
struggle.
running
I
for
I
every.
almost burned my house down because I left the GameCube on while I went to school and it overheated so fucking bad.
Luckily, mine never overheated, but that was probably my first game. Like I said, if once I can remember the title, I'll bring it up on like our next session when we get to it. But that was one of the mini games that got me kind of started into it. I loved it. It took me, oh god, it took me a whole month playing that game to finally beat it because of school and everything. Because we had to leave it running, we had to leave it on, and actually, no, I take that back. It took me nearly a year to complete it because anytime I would leave it on, now at the time I was staying with my grandparents a lot, and they had this whole like rule thing where everything has to be turned off or whatever if you're not using it or if you're not going to be in there to use it for a while. And what it was is that I would try and leave it on so I can try and continue playing it later to beat it because I didn't have a way of saving it, and they would always turn it off. So the only reason I managed to beat it within a month, even though it took me a year to do it, was thanks to my cousin. Our cousins have came in to visit with us, and I think they ended up staying for like a whole month or whatever before they went back home. And between me and him, it took us both in a whole month straight to beat it. It was the most competitive thing I think I've ever like did as far as like playing games go when it first started, because he would play a little bit of it and then I would play a little bit of it, and then it eventually became a thing of seeing who can get the furthest in the game closer to the end. So that's kind of how that started. Now the biggest reason, of course, why I'm so into playing video games is because it helps me with like focusing and stuff like that, because of my ADHD. It keeps me off of medication, and a doctor actually told me that.
Oh yeah, and I was told the same thing. I was even told that video games is what. So, as a kid, I had terrible hand-eye coordination. But the more I played video games, yes, video games helped develop great hand-eye coordination. It actually made me better at football, funny enough.
It never, the games that I played, it never made me better at sports or anything. However, it did help me learn how to, like, I guess you could say like read people, figure out like what their intentions are and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, but by maybe better at football, I meant I had better hand-eye coordination. That's all I mean. That doesn't mean I played fucking Street Fighter one day, and then the next morning I woke up and I was 800 pounds of muscle like Zangief. That's not what I mean at all.
My hand-eye coordination's not necessarily terrible, but it's not the greatest either.
I mean, mine's not that great, but also my lack of sleep. Some days I see stuff happening, and normally I'd react to it, but I'm just letting that happen. Fuck it.
I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's whatever happens, you know.
Yeah, but
let's see here.
Anyway,
what can you say was probably the best game series or the best genre of games that you've enjoyed playing?
Oh my fucking god! I hate questions like this because there's so many great games I love and franchises I will never forget, even if I have amnesia.
Man, that makes the two of us. But I mean,
I'm gonna say my favorite from like an early like childhood perspective. Back when gaming was still like it was being demonized, there weren't that many before PC gaming took over the industry, and back when gaming was still like it wasn't mainstream, you know, like before YouTube, before like gaming was widely accepted. Like I remember there used to be petitions for people to like ban video games altogether. I mean, granted, that still happens,
yeah,
but they used to be way more severe about it. So
I don't know. I feel like if we're comparing the two between then and now, I feel like now is probably a little bit worse because you've got parents going out actually destroying these consoles that cost them like $400 or $500. Like
that is true, but back in the day, okay, yeah, that didn't happen. People would just submit paperwork and like try to make it a law and shit. Okay, that's fair. Also, gaming has such a bigger and stronger community now that there are way more people who rally to the defense of video games. Where back in the day, they had no platform to stand on. Entire development studios got shut down because a couple angry Karens saw Grand Theft Auto for the first time and were like, "It's evil!"
Man, that's still an issue going on nowadays, but that's another topic for another time.
Yeah. We could have a whole topic one day about banned video games and why some of them are banned for just dumb reasons.
Man, we could sit here and make a whole thing about dumb reasons for why people are hating on certain video games just because it's their own fault for not paying attention. But that's neither here or there right now.
Anyways, yeah. So I'd say from early on, one of the two video games I love the most for the longest time, I still love them to this day, and I will never be bored of them. The Crash Bandicoot and Spyro the Dragon series.
Those are definitely good ones.
Yes.
I hate to say that I never really got to play them all. Did I play a few of them? Absolutely, but
so I've never played all of them. I've tried to, but growing up, I was very poor, did not have a lot of money, and so I don't know what happened to that original Nintendo I mentioned before, but I remember at one point in my life, I had a PlayStation 1. Now, this was when the main consoles on the market was the Nintendo 64 and the PlayStation 1.
Right.
And I remember that, I forgot, I think my Nana sold my 64 one day because so that's a story. So I came home from school one day, and so for my birthday earlier that year, I had gotten a PlayStation 1 from my uncle. And I was like, yeah, awesome! Because, I didn't have a PlayStation 1, and I only played it at some friends' houses who had it.
Right.
And he also, I think he got me, like, the first Spyro and Crash games for it, which was, I was just like, oh my god, that's so awesome! Thank you, uncle, thank you. Like, the usual excited kid stuff.
Right.
And I played that for a week straight. Didn't even touch the 64. And I came home one day and I was like, I want to play. I forgot what games I had for the 64. This was such a long time ago. Like, even my memories of it are so vague, and like I'm struggling to remember the details. I do remember she sold it, but as she said, because I'd stopped playing it, so I didn't need it. So yeah, I mean, at the time I hated her for it, but I do love my Nana, and I can't. It's something that's happened such a long time ago, and I barely remember. I do not hold it against her to this day.
Oh, when you're in the bind for some cash, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, that's the thing. Growing up, we did not have money. We were poor. Like, it's like example. When eventually I didn't have any consoles. All I had was either a DS or a Game Boy. While everyone had their PS3s and their Xbox 360s, I had a Game Boy Advance, the old flip-up square ones, and a GameCube. Now, granted, I love the GameCube to this day. There are games on the GameCube you cannot emulate or find anywhere else.
Man, that took me back there just a second ago. Like, besides the Nintendo, the only other gaming system that I had for the longest time was the PlayStation 2. And then if it wasn't the PlayStation 2, I had the portable devices. So you had the Game Boys, the DSs.
PSP.
I had the first original PlayStation Portable.
Yeah, I had one too. I'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, like when I got my first PS3, which I got as a graduation gift from graduating from middle school, and also for keeping my grades up and not getting into any fucking trouble, because that's harder than people think it is in school.
Unless you're like me and just don't give two shits after a while.
Granted, yeah. I mean, anyways, and but while I got the PS3, and I was super excited because I could finally play games like God of War and Assassin's Creed.
Both good series.
The Xbox One and PS4 had already come out, and everyone else in school had those, and we're just fucking, except for you. You weren't one of them, but I know a lot of other people were like, bro, just get the new console. Why are you such a fucking loser?
I hated people like that because you just look at him, you're just like, what the fuck you want me to do? Sell an organ? Like, just shit.
Yeah, like what
Poverty's
the fuck,
thing.
man? Yeah, so I have my gaming setup now is great, but people tell me I need to just stop and upgrade to a PC. That's not an upgrade. That's a debt.
Well, see, here's the thing. In my opinion, since now that's brought up, and we'll make it a whole topic later on in of itself, is a PC good for doing a lot of gaming? In my own opinion, sure, to a point.
I do think it's good for it's advanced, it's high tech, it's
like it's great, it's amazing, sure, but like I said, it's only to a point. But it doesn't beat the feeling of playing certain games on your console that were made strictly for console.
Exactly. And also, if PC's the master race, why are you fuckers out there using controllers? Huh?
Are cheats in certain games, but we won't talk about that right now.
Anyways, so Spyro and Crash are two of my absolute most favorite franchises. I've never played all of. Well, I obviously with the Reignited trilogy and the Insane trilogy, I finally got to play them. But growing up, I think I had all three of the original Crash Bandicoots, but I don't remember. I remember playing all of them, but never beating them. But Spyro, I only ever had the first one, so I could only ever play the first one. And just like with my GameCube when I first got it, until my brother got me a memory card, when I played Spyro, I always had to start out in the beginning, and I only ever made it to the third world because I couldn't save.
It's always a bitch when you can't save.
Yeah, and I fucking hated it when I'd accidentally land on a dragon like pedestal where you free them, because you can go to those pedestals after you freed one, and a fairy will show up and ask you to save your game. And I was like, gee, I would like to, but I can't.
Why do you taunt me this way?
Am I a joke to you?
This is like, that's the absolute feeling. If I had to say, though, as far as like franchise games go, my personal all-time favorite is Assassin's Creed. My second favorite that comes into play would be the God of War series, and then it just kind of goes down from there, so on and so forth.
Well, what was the first like obviously at the time no one knew if it would become a franchise, but what's a game that became a franchise that's like what was one of your first ones?
Well, that would be starting with the Assassin's Creed franchise, because I actually, while I had the PlayStation Portable, they had not only made the first Assassin's Creed game for a console, but they also made it for the portable.
They did. And
I got lucky to play the very first one, playing as Altair, which great character development. There's only one game through that entire series that I haven't played yet, but other than that, I've pretty much played the entire series.
Oh, and what game is that? Just out of curiosity.
I think if my memory is correct, it should be the second one.
Assassin's Creed 2, really?
I think so, because I know I played.
People are going to tear you up about that because.
Oh yeah, no, I've been trying to find any like remakes or anything of it that I could get my hands on just to play.
Well, there is. So, I if we had cameras, I could show you right now.
Of course you could.
Hold up. I have the physical disc of the Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection. It has 2 Brotherhood and Revelations on it, all remastered.
Wait, hang on. Which one was 2?
2 was the first game that introduced Ezio Auditore. Do you not know who Ezio Auditore da Firenze is?
No, I do. It's just now my brain is doing one of those buffer things where it's like it's trying to correct itself. I think I might have played 2 actually.
I think you've definitely played 2. I think one of the ones you didn't play was like, because Ezio was so originally Assassin's Creed was going to end with 2, but it was so successful they made more, and they're like, we got to make more Ezio. So they made a sequel called Brotherhood, and then another sequel called Revelations.
I remember playing Brotherhood and Revelations.
Okay.
I think I might have played 2. I could absolutely be wrong. However, besides the point whether I played it or not, I did go back through like YouTube and stuff like that and found gameplays of it. But I feel like there's a game I haven't played, but I think I might have played all of them.
I mean, there are a bunch of like minor games that they've made that I haven't played either.
Yeah, if we're talking about like the whole like
the Chronicles
2D
one,
platform, yeah, the Chronicles.
Yeah,
I don't consider those to be part of the franchise. I don't like those.
I really didn't like them.
Like, don't get me wrong. Assassin's Creed in of itself is great just because of the fact that it's got this whole storyline, which we'll get into it another time.
Yeah,
it's just
Assassin's Creed can
itself.
literally be a whole thing later.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But the Chronicles itself, I personally didn't like the Chronicles because it didn't seem like it added any like good story to what was already currently going on. Like there wasn't anything there. It was just this whole like 2D platform type thing, yada yada yada. I didn't like the Chronicles. I really didn't.
I didn't either, but I did like the Russian assassin, and I wish they would have just given him his own game, because each assassin in the Chronicles, I guess you'd call it a trilogy since there's 3 separate ones, and you can buy them separately. Each one of them have their own book with lore.
Oh yeah, I haven't found any books, sadly. But
I haven't read the books, but I know they exist.
But I mean, you would have easier access to them since you're all the way over in Japan. But that's not the point.
That does not mean I have easier access, motherfucker. All the books out here are in Japanese. I can't read shit.
Better start learning, is all I can tell you, sir.
You think I haven't? Do you have any idea how many variations of Japanese there are?
Too many for me to count.
5. There are 5 variations. The people in Hokkaido write kanji and katakana different from the people in Tokyo and Osaka. And then you go further down south, the people in Fukuoka have a very different way of writing it than everyone else. And I'm in Okinawa. Okinawa kanji and katakana is completely different from everyone else. Why? Because fuck the mainland.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That sounds about right.
Yeah, so don't get on to me about learning Japanese. They have over 100 characters per language. Like, are you fucking kidding? English has 26 letters. And if you slightly change a character in Japanese, it literally creates a whole different word.
Or a whole new different meaning.
Exactly. Okay, ranting is okay. Let's keep this going. What's next?
How about we do favorite animes? Because since I did say that was going to be a thing, we're also doing too. So now we can jump over to animes.
Yeah, video games, we'll have to pick a whole different topic and run with that later. Like, we'll have to stick with one and try and keep it going. Like, I thought we could, like, do favorite genre, but that's going to be tough because I don't have a favorite genre. I love all genres of video games, and obviously I have games I like more than others, but I can't pick a favorite genre because they all play so well.
Well, not only that, but nowadays a lot of these games too are going through where they have multiple genres. So you can be talking about that one game in that one genre, but then you're still talking about multiple other genres too while talking about that one game.
And then you've got games where like it starts as an FPS, but you can change it in the settings to its third person, turning it into a third person shooter. So like some games are literally designed to be multi-genre games.
Man, isn't that so true? All right, so let's get back on topic here. So animes, let's see. If I had to choose what a few of my favorite animes have been so far through my exploration, because there's still a lot of animes that I'm watching.
Well, let's do top 5 favorite animes of all time, because that's going to be easier.
Okay, yeah, no, that works. That works. Yeah, okay. So
that'll be easier to talk about because you and me are lifelong anime fans as well. Like we've been watching it since we were in first grade, and when it was available on Saturday mornings, along with like old runs of the Justice League.
Absolutely, definitely. So, all right. So starting off, number 1 for me is going to be Death Note. Absolutely love Death Note. The second one that comes into place after that, it's going to be Bleach. I love the older series of Bleach. It upsets me that I can't find them here. I don't know if you can find them over there, but I can't find the older series of Bleach.
So it's a little expensive. Maybe you could catch it. So I know February or March is usually like on Xbox or PlayStation. They have like a whole like it's supposed to be like an anime month sale, but it's on my Xbox. I bought the entire Bleach collection before the 1,000 Year Blood War, like the whole series. and usually it's like over $100, but I bought it when it was like $70, which that's a bargain.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely have to look into that then. So, okay, so you've got those two.
Actually, on PlayStation you can't because they removed they removed videos and like TV shows and movies all together from PlayStation. Like, what the fuck, man?
No, they didn't.
Well, I mean as a whole. I mean like where you could go into the store and buy movies and stuff.
Well, I mean, I was about to say like I saw like there's the streaming services, so they technically did, and they just probably like removed.
Yeah, no, I meant like they removed where you could like buy movies directly from the PlayStation store.
Oh, okay, that's what you meant. Okay.
Don't know why they did that, but whatever, Sony.
For reals. But then we've got One Piece. I've been enjoying One Piece a lot lately.
He's finally on the sea, boys. You hear that? He's gonna go find the One Piece. He's gonna be the Pirate King.
I started watching One Piece years ago, but I never got around to finishing it. So I recently picked back up on it. You know. So now I'm in the process of trying to, finish it all together.
Yeah.
The next one coming into play would be Spy Family. I honestly enjoyed Spy Family. It's not the greatest anime that I've ever seen, but I did absolutely enjoy it though. I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, I've seen people call it mid, but so I do enjoy slice of life and wholesome animes because sometimes you need a break from the complexity of everybody playing 5D chess with each other or just it being about nothing but fighting and stuff. But no, I do get what you're saying. Like it's I think it's great, but I do hate it when people call it mid. But I get what you're saying.
No, I mean mid or not. I mean, in my own opinion, as long as you enjoy it, if you add it to your list of favorites, if you like it, then hey, by all means, it is what it is.
Yeah, especially since not everybody's gonna have the same taste. Like I hate it when people get toxic.
Yeah, no, everybody's got a different taste.
And they're like, if you don't like this, then you're not a real fan. No, it just means they have different tastes. Like I know plenty of guys who hate anime. Well, they don't hate it, they don't like it, but they're car guys and they love Initial D.
Yeah, I can beg to differ on that one, but that's just me though.
Well, no, I'm just saying I know guys like that.
Right, and then coming in last on my list because I'm still not absolutely sure if I like it or not, but it's The Way of the House Husband.
I still haven't watched that. I've seen clips, but I still need to find time to sit down and watch that because it just seems hilarious.
I mean, so far from what I've watched, it's definitely big on like comedy. It's definitely big on being funny.
Yeah, again, I've seen clips and I've seen people like stitch certain clips on TikTok, do the same things he's done. And like I saw this really funny video where what would you do if your wife earned like a fucking 8-figure income? Like what would you do? Like it started off with like this woman asking, like being super toxic and like, would you be able to handle your wife making more money? And it was a hilarious clip of this guy like doing the same stuff the house husband does, like when he's cleaning the house. And I'm just like, yeah, he knows what to do.
I mean, I could handle it. I wouldn't mind. I mean, I enjoy being at home. I enjoy cooking.
That can be a topic for another day, but that can also be a topic that gets us canceled. But all I'm saying is, if your wife, guys, if your wife makes more money, don't be intimidated. Don't be a little bitch. You stay home. You make sure that house is spotless, and when she gets home, give her back rubs because she is the breadwinner, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Better learn how to fix that meat up right the way she likes it. Damn it.
You had better have a full course meal ready when she gets home because that's an 8-figure income. You have any idea what that's like? No, I will never see that for as long as I live. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, getting off topic again. I'm so sorry.
Speaking of animes, though, there is one that I started watching. It's kind of new. I think they're going to come out with more seasons pretty soon. I hope they do, anyways, or more episodes. It's called The Plunderer.
Oh, I've heard about it, but I have not watched it. But
it's actually worth watching. I've
heard good things.
I don't like really how they're trying to set up like certain characters, or like how anime traditional things go, where you've got like these two people that are fighting over this one other person because they're madly in love with him. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I really don't like about it. But other than that, like the story behind, you know, what happened, how they got to where they were and stuff like that, like it's pretty solid. I've enjoyed it so far. I would definitely recommend that to anybody to watch, just to see like how many people would like talk about it or bring it up.
Right. Oh, okay, so shit, so is it my turn?
No, are we drawing straws?
I mean, that's gonna be a concise list. There's only 2 straws to draw.
Oh no! So who's got the shorter end? I guess I did since I went first. So it's your turn.
I guess. Okay. Fuck. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my most favorite to my. Well, I can't say least favorite because it's my top 5. But just so these are animes that I grew up with, so I have very fond memories of them, but I still love them.
Right.
But also animes that I still think are great to this day and are absolutely worth a watch no matter what. Now, if it's a franchise, I'm just gonna list the whole franchise. Like my number 1, motherfucking Dragon Ball.
I knew it.
Of course you knew. I have a whole fucking shelf I'll put in the Discord where it's just Dragon Ball. But now I have a reason.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I liked Dragon Ball. I really did. I just never could get over the fact that anytime something happens, it's always a scream match for a couple of episodes. Then it's a fight.
Fuck you. First of all, that's a meme. That's not accurate. And that was also because certain TV productions, because Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z went through like 5 different like cycles of trying to be publicly released, where people would edit the fuck out of it because they wanted to tone down the violence.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, it explains a lot, but that doesn't surprise me.
Anyways, so when I say Dragon Ball, I mean Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super. I love all of it. Now it's been obviously it's an older anime, like it's been around for a good while. It's since the 80s.
Yeah, but I mean you can't beat the classics though. It's
no, you really can't. Like I love the characters, the story. Wow, it's not the most intricate. Like obviously, like it was never meant to be like Death Note, where it's got everybody outplaying each other. No shade on Death Note. I'm just using that as an example. Like I do love Death Note.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, every anime has its up and downs. I mean, it's true though.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing about Death Note. That's what makes Death Note entertaining. Is like who's gonna outplay who next.
Let me use my mathematical equation to figure out who's gonna get it next.
Yeah. And anyways, but the story is simple, but it's meant to be a fun adventure, and it is. And fuck anyone out there who thinks Goku's a bad dad. Man died for his family twice. How many times have you died for your family?
I mean, how many lives do we have?
Hey, Goku's only supposed to have one. That's how much he loves his family. Anyways, so
I mean,
yeah,
I
Dragon
can't
Ball.
say that he was a bad father, but I mean, you know, it was weird. But I'm going to leave it alone for right now. That's a whole topic for another time.
Yeah. But anyways, Dragon Ball, my absolute favorite. I love it so much. The characters, the story, the fights are amazing because that's one of the main focus points of it. And the voice actors are all very recognizable and great. And I would love the chance to meet any of them. I still haven't had that chance. Anyways, so number 2, and this one is going to be very controversial for a lot of people. I don't care. Naruto.
I honestly enjoyed Naruto. It was I don't know how to really explain it about Naruto, but Naruto was just one of those, like, it had more of like life lessons to teach people through like what they were doing for their episodes and shows versus a lot of other animes. I mean,
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but Naruto, it's great, and I obviously the whole aspect of ninjas is fantastic. The world building is so incredible because as it goes on, you discover more of it. Obviously, world building is a big thing of any show or story, but the way Naruto does it handles it in a way you wouldn't expect. Because even the characters don't know much about their world. Like when Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke first learn about the hidden mist, and when they meet Zabuza, they learn that other villages, when they're like students become ninja, it's not like them in the Hidden Leaf where they just have to pass a test. They have to kill the other students and be the last one standing.
See what I liked about Naruto the most was that there was a lot of like character development. Like you got to watch each and every character have their own little like um creative build up for who they
Yeah, they
became
each had
throughout
their
the
own
entire
motives
story.
and each had their own motivations and what drove them.
And
Like
Naruto's
Naruto,
still going strong too. I mean, they're still coming out with
absolutely.
episodes, aren't they?
Well, Boruto's not that great, but we can talk about. I do not include Boruto when I say Naruto as my number two. I
Fair enough.
just mean Naruto and Shippuden. Boruto can kiss my ass, and I don't blame the manga or the art or the author at all. I blame the people who fucked up the anime because the manga of Boruto is great. I've been reading it more, and it's great. It's the anime that's fucked up because the studio focused more on filler than actual lore.
Yeah, no, that's about right. Yeah.
Anyways, we can talk about Naruto all day, but I'm gonna invite my buddy to join us when that happens because he's a huge Naruto fan. Like
We would have to get some payment first, my dude.
we need,
As well, remember we're running off of like the free thing for the StreamYard
yeah, I know that, but why would we need payment?
because we would have to buy one of the prescriptions to increase our seats so we can actually yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay, okay.
Which I mean, it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. It's just
That'll be a
different
later
time.
down the road kind
Yeah.
of thing. Then. Okay, okay. Well, we can also just have him join the Discord, and maybe it would pick up him because we were hearing each other on Discord while we were on StreamYard.
I would have to find a way to record any sessions off of Discord because this whole thing that we're using through StreamYard is
Okay, yeah. Later topic.
Yeah.
Anyways, number 3, One Piece.
There we go. All right.
Yeah,
Now
so-
we're getting on topic with each other.
So One Piece, I would see episodes of it when I was younger, but I didn't really know what the fuck was going on because it would be random ass episodes like.
Oh yeah, no, that's the only biggest issue that I have with One Piece.
If you try to just jump into One Piece at a random point, you will be so fucking lost.
It'd be like getting your ass hit with a piece of wood out of nowhere.
Pretty much, yeah. But One Piece, it's got fantastic characters, a wonderful story. It's fun. It's got adventure. It gets incredibly down to earth and real at times. Like, I am so glad my buddy in Florida, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to, like, call him out or because I don't know if he'd be okay with that. But he convinced me when I moved to Florida and was going to high school there, he convinced me to give One Piece another try, and I'm so happy he did.
Well, I'm going to look towards into watching the remastered One Piece because I hear it's really good.
It's okay. So it was whole like there are movies you can buy too. Like so it's like the East Blue arc, Skypiea.
Right.
They're arcs that are squished down into like an hour and a half or 2 hour long movies basically. There were also TV specials here in Japan that aired. And yes they've been dubbed and subbed so you can watch them in both. But they're honestly, in my opinion, some of them work while other ones don't. Because obviously they had to squish it down and leave out some details. So
I mean, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so there is some stuff they left out that's like world building or like why they're there and stuff like that.
Or left out like certain details that explain something that you learned like 30 episodes later.
yeah. Or like when like often a fight will start, then midway through it cuts away to another character. Oftentimes it won't show the cutaway of what's going on. It'll just resume with the fight happens later on. But anyways, if you want to watch them, I'm not going to stop you. Like, they're not bad. I just feel like they leave out too much detail.
I mean, you're not wrong. It wouldn't surprise me. It's just a lot of people are saying like the art style of it and everything's a little bit better. Like the characters are kind of like
it's absolutely got updated art style, which you could definitely call better. But that's also the charm of early One Piece is that like Dragon Ball and Naruto, it started off earlier in our lives. Like it's an older anime.
Well, until I can get around to finishing both One Piece and then getting around to watching the remake, I'm afraid we're gonna have to stop that one there. Leave that for a topic of another time.
Yeah, and One Piece can be a whole 4-hour topic we can do because that's something we could really dive into. But
I don't know about the 4 hours, but all right.
I digress. I use that. Anyways, so that's my top 3. Number 4 for me, Bleach.
Okay.
So I do love Bleach, the story, and I'm a sucker for sword fights. I love a good old-fashioned sword fight, and that's really the whole premise of Bleach. And the author Tite Kubo is great at comedy. Like I've been reading the manga too because I've been getting my hands on more of it. The manga is fan-fucking-tastic. And while reading it, I'm super mad that there's a bunch of stuff that the animation studio left out.
Well, I mean, that's how it goes. I mean, that's just the sad truth of it all. Like, mangas are going to have the better quality of it versus some of the animes because it's got more detail, it's down to detail. And then when they go to do the animations for a lot of this stuff, they can't use all of the details that are in the manga books, which is a shame because I think it has something to do with like it's either something to do with like it links it like it makes the episodes like too lengthy, too chunky.
Yeah,
or
so
it has something to do with, like,
when they
just
make
inappropriate
episodes,
stuff.
it has to fit the time frame of the TV networks. But
Yeah.
nowadays, Bleach is also an older one. Like it came out back in 2009 and it aired on TV, so they had to cut stuff out to squish it down. But also nowadays where stuff gets straight uploaded to streaming services like Crunchyroll, Funimation, there is more of them just putting it in page for page, but there's also, there is still some stuff that they do leave out. But it varies. They make it work.
Yeah.
They make it work.
Let's
Now,
see, so what's that fifth?
my fifth one, and this is on topic for what we're talking about. So I want to say it's Seven Deadly Sins or Inuyasha or something that I also watched younger, but I'd honestly, for my absolute most favorite, it has to be JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And no, it's not because of our podcast. It's because I fucking love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And
He's not
we
lying.
will.
He loves it.
We will. This is not up for debate. We will do a later episode where we just talk about that and I teach you about JoJo.
Tell you what. Well, here's what we'll do. I'm going to set a goal. The goal is going to be that we've got to get at least 100 listeners. All right. If we can get 100 people to listen to our podcast, and then what we'll do is we'll do a special episode where it's a live stream where we can talk about JoJo. How's that?
Yes, I am.
All right, he's on board.
I will do JoJo quotes the entire time, and you will have to deal with it.
Oh God, no, please.
You don't get a choice in this, motherfucker. And I know you haven't watched all of JoJo. I know.
I feel like I should get a choice.
Okay. All jokes aside, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is amazing. It's wild. It's wacky. It's a bizarre adventure. Obviously, it's got great characters, amazing villains, and it's okay. It's something that when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if I like this. And then now I have a whole shelf of nothing but JoJo. I have all the Blu-ray DVDs. I have been to the JoJo ramen shop in Osaka, Japan. I like JoJo.
Look, you're the reason why I even got into watching it in the first place.
I know. Yeah, so JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, great anime. It's not for everybody. I'll admit that. It is not for everybody. But man, is it worth it.
It definitely is. I would have to 100% agree. It's definitely worth the watch. Definitely worth the time to invest. So I would have to agree with that 100%.
Yeah, that's my top 10. And obviously there are other animes that I love, like I mentioned before, Inuyasha.
Well, everybody's got a lot of animes that they like, but I mean, we can only name 5. I mean, there's no sense in going down a whole entire list for that.
Yeah. And God, do not ask me to do a top 10. Top 10 is so fucking hard to do nowadays.
How about a top 100? No, I'm playing no.
Hey, we could. I'm not doing that.
Let's see here. What else?
Anyways, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I think this would be a good stopping point for like what we call this, the prologue. Yeah, the prologue.
Yeah, the prologue. Yeah, I think this would be a good start.
Like,
it almost runs up to 100.
We've been recording for over an hour now, and I feel like this is a good introduction for who we are and what our plans are. And we're not novices. We know about the topics we're talking about.
Him more than me. There are certain things I'm pretty more knowledgeable about than he is, but that's not the point.
Yeah, that's life. That's life. You will never be the smartest man in the room, and if you think you are, you're a fucking. I can't say that word. You're
I
dumb.
will throw a potato at you.
You're dumb. You're dumb. You
Oh,
are the dumbest. You are the
there's a good
dumbest
anime
person in
right
the
there. I
room.
should have put in my list. God, I feel like a jackass now. Attack on Titan. I should have put that one in my list.
Yeah, but yeah, you're dumb if you think you're the smartest person in the room. Let me put it that way. You're the dumbest one in the room.
Well, anywho, so that's kind of our prologue for the introductions and stuff like that. Any good final words you want to say before we end it? Anything that you want to mention, bring up?
Orchid8.com. I'm kidding. That's a merchandise website where you can make your own merch and then sell it. But we don't have merchandise. No,
we're not that big of a hit yet. We're not getting merch anytime soon.
we may never get merch, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So, all right. Well, on that note, that Kamen guy, I'm glad you were here with me tonight. I'm glad that
before
we
go, check out so you can find me on YouTube at That Kamen Rider Guy, no spaces, as you see in the podcast, and you can also find me on TikTok again, That Kamen Rider Guy.
We're sorry if the prologue video here seems a little bit boring. We're both kind of in a stage where we're not ready to do any video content just yet, so it's just going to be strictly audio.
This is going to be an experimental thing.
We're hoping to make it a thing. We would like it to make it a thing, and if you guys would like to support us to help make us a thing, that would be that'd be swell. That'd be great. As of right now, like I said, the first goal we've got is to get to at least 100 listeners or 100 followers, however it goes. Eventually, near in the future, we'll start doing live streams, but as of right now, we're going to stick to doing just recordings. That kind of gives us more time to play around with it because we're kind of new to it all. It's going to take some time. If you are listening to this on YouTube, great, welcome. Please give us both a follow if you can find us. I don't know what his YouTube channel here is.
Are you serious?
I am serious. I have forgotten.
I just said it.
Did you?
It's That Kamen Rider Guy.
Oh my god, I'm a dumbass. I'm sorry.
I literally just did a self-promotion.
Well, I'm apparently not all here, so that I blame the medication I'm taking because of my ankle. Well, that's what I'm gonna do.
And to be fair, for me, it's just now Sunday, 12 in the afternoon. It's probably close to midnight.
Nowhere near. You're 3 hours off.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I'm 10 minutes away from 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah, I'm thinking of a whole different area of the States. My bad.
I think you're probably thinking about Florida.
Yeah, probably.
So, but anyways.
Anywho.
So, yeah, so his YouTube channel is his name right there. My YouTube
Kamen
channel,
Rider Guy.
the Kamen Rider Guy. I'm eventually get around to saying it properly. I promise. As of right now, it's not happening.
Yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there. Well, that's also something I'm going to force us to do. I'm going to give you a history lesson on Kamen Rider, not because I want you to suffer, but because it actually ties into Power Rangers, which is also a topic we can do. But again, that's something we have to plan out for way later in the future. Right now, let's stick to anime and video games.
I feel like it's to make me suffer.
I mean, it can, because it can get very confusing at times, but again, we'll do this later down the road.
So, anywho, as I was saying, though, this is all experimental, new to us. We're learning. It's going to take us some time, so we appreciate your patience and working with us and whatnot. We will.
I don't care if there's only 3 people who listen to this. You guys are awesome, and thank you for any support.
My words exactly. So, anyways, as I was going to explain that, like I said, this is kind of like a boring thing. I get it. We're going to eventually get around to doing our little own intros and outros as far as video clips go. In the meantime, we're working with what.
I've got an outro, but I know what you mean, for the podcast.
Yeah. So we're going to work with what StreamYard's got provided for us for right now, which again, shout out to them. Thank you guys. Thank
you guys for allowing us to do this without breaking our bank account.
Absolutely. This is great. I didn't think I would find a good streaming service to use. So would you consider a streaming service? I'm not sure if we could consider it.
We're recording this, but we can stream it.
Yeah, no, you're right. So,
and I think I saw earlier it has ways to where you can link the session directly to YouTube or Twitch.
I believe I've already got my thing set up to do just that. So
So
if you
yeah,
guys
we can definitely go live with this later down the road.
if you guys are finding this on StreamYard, if you're watching this through StreamYard, hi, hello, thank you. If you're finding this through our YouTube channels, also thank you, hello, welcome. And
You guys are loved.
absolutely, absolutely loved. We appreciate you guys for listening to us rant. I know we're not the best talkers. Our voices ain't that great, but you know,
What is
it's
a
just nice to chat.
podcast if not just people ranting?
People complaining.
Fair. One type of podcast I will never understand because I feel like it's just for attention is political podcasts.
Yeah, no, definitely keeping a lot of political stuff out of this one.
Yeah, no, that's not going to be the goal of this at all, unless it comes up in topic. Like we talk about a video game that was ruined by political messages and motivations.
Let's hope we never find one because I haven't heard of one that was.
Oh, I've got plenty. I can give you some examples, but again, later topic. That's going to be our first merchandise. Just a T-shirt that says later topic.
That would absolutely work. I can see it selling already. So once again, for the final time,
tell you what, if you buy one of those if we do make T-shirts like that, I will personally hand sign it and send it to you.
You know what? I will take your word for that. So
I know I think with Orchid 8, this website I mentioned earlier, I've never looked into it or buy anything from there, but I think they have a thing where you can make your own merch, but then you have to like have it sent to you and then you send it to people who buy it. It's a whole thing, I think.
It's a whole process. But
anyways,
so anything else before?
No, that's all I've got. And yeah, if you guys are seeing this on my YouTube channel, this is done with StreamYard, and we hope to do a lot more of these in the future. And again, thank you for any support at all is absolutely loved. Thank you.
And
all.
as I was going to explain too, like work with us guys. Promise you, we're going to try and get better. So we're working with what StreamYard has provided for us.
I am already looking into getting a better laptop because I've had to move mine around so that it doesn't overheat this entire time.
Oh damn! I am so sorry.
I just have to lift it up and move it to a different spot because it's just overheating when it's sitting still. So I just have to move it away from the spot it heated up.
That's fair. That's fair. So, anywho, guys, again, thank you for your patience. I know this is the longest outro. We're going to get around to getting something set up. We'll get something.
We'll get something taken care of. And also,
we'll
no hate towards PC gamers. Any stuff we said earlier was just like comical jabs. Like no hate. I love everyone in the gaming community.
I think my PlayStation 4 might be done. No, that's okay. Anyways,
it killed his cat. Don't worry about it.
So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and head out. We're gonna go ahead and close out the session. Again, thank you guys so much, and again, apologize for the terrible intro and the terrible outro. We will eventually.
It's a work in progress.
Very much a work in progress. So, alrighty, you guys have a good night. That Camarada guy, I will catch you later.
And remember, it's always Henshin time.